Your meeting is now being streamed live.
Yeah, here we go. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another Scale Riders podcast episode. This is number 201. I'm your host, 65 Lokes, covering model car culture from around the world. Excited for this one because we have our guest, Scaled by Snax. What's up, Bill? How you doing?
What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? What's up, Edgar? Thanks for having me on,
Dang,
man. I really appreciate it.
pretty good, dude. I mean, first off, I love the background, bro. I love, just that display right there. Thanks for having that, to
There's a
sharing
little
that
vibe
there.
in here, yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome, dude. And what time is it out there in your area right
It
now?
is a little bit after midnight. It is way past my bedtime, bro.
Dang. Well, hey, thanks for pulling through and like doing this for us to be here.
Oh
For those
yeah,
that are
man, I
listening
wouldn't
right
miss it.
now, awesome, awesome. For those that are listening right now, we are streaming this live on our YouTube channel, youtube.com, slash skill writers. And for the folks that listen to the podcast through, Spotify and also on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, link on the description that you can see this video too, because Bill's going to be sharing his builds on here as well as we, further along onto the episode right there. So just a heads up for that. And so, dude, what's up, man? Like, I mean, what have you been? I mean, you've been busy, you've been actively building and doing video content, all this, but as of late, tell us about your most recent work on the bench.
So the most recent work on the bench was the lifted Aoshima Hilux that I did. I had some custom 3D printed wheels. We got some custom 3D printed roof rack. We did some other little accessories. And it was just a fun kind of last little shorter end of the year build. Did some cool stuff with it. This is my first build to do a full matte 2K clear instead of gloss, like what I'm kind of used to. So it was a lot of fun. And just putting it together, doing something different again. Because before that was my first dive into like the lowrider scene with the Hilux that I did. So we're going from low, we're going from lifted, we're just touching on a little bit of everything and just learning as I go, really enjoying it, trying different techniques, and just trying to really have a lot of fun with it. So while we're talking about that one, let me just pull that one out over here and let's look at it. Let's see what's going on. So this is the Aoshima Hilux right here. This is the lifted version. We've got the 3D printed roof rack on the top there. We've got a winch and some other stuff that I robbed from another kit. Those big wheels with that new splash rubber black paint. We even put that fifth wheel on the back over here too. We got a little dedicated on there too. Just really having fun with some of this stuff. That was my closeout for the year right there.
Man, that looks dope, dude. It's crazy. I love the styles that you bring to the table. You don't just stick to one thing. Like you're right now, it seems like you're just exploring. You're doing a lot of various things. And even the most recent Hilux truck, the one that you did that pattern on that top like section there, it's freaking dope, dude.
That was fun. I had a lot of support from the community and a lot of what I think of in my mind as veteran builders, high level builders, that these people we just reach out to, we talk to, they have no problem just helping, giving you that information, walking you through techniques, and just really working with you when they know you want to learn. Like you're just sitting there listening, just trying to be a sponge and absorb it all in, because those techniques we can tie into so many different things and just put them into other projects and really work on them and just grow off of that. So like the S15 that I did was kind of the start of advanced masking is what I would call it. And then I tied what I learned into that Hilux, and then I've kind of combined both of those and merged them together to get what I'm doing on the S13, the other one that's in progress right now.
Damn, that's crazy. And from the last time we did the episode, I was shocked, bro, when you told me how long you had been doing this for. I was like tripping out. Can you update us now? How long have you been like model building now for
So
from that?
realistically, it was we're looking at established in July of 2020, right? So July 2020 was when I first started. I did my first kit. And then, again, I had about 3 months off in there and then got really back into it in kind of later October, November of that year when we moved into the house that we're in now. And I was able to set everything back up and just really get back at it. And I just enjoy it. I enjoy getting out of my comfort zone. I enjoy pushing. I enjoy just learning new techniques and trying different things.
Man, that's dope. That's pretty dope. It's crazy, man, because for a lot of people, it's taken them years to get to a point where they're satisfied with their builds, or even just to get like some type of recognition,
Yeah.
for what they're doing. And it's, I feel like, now is like a really good time to get into modeling if you're new to it. I've been posting like a lot of videos on like TikTok, right? And you're on there as well posting vids.
Yep.
And I've been noticing, dude, like I get a lot of comments from people asking, like, do you have to paint these? Do they come pre-painted? Do they come pre-built? They're very curious about what they're seeing, because I feel like I'm starting to attract a lot of the car fans on there
Yeah.
that are not model builders. And they're starting to ask all these questions. And even some of them have started to even purchase and get into model building, that I'm tripping out. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, because then later I'll start getting emails, or they'll find the Instagram through the link there, and they'll just hit me up with like, hey, I just got a kit, like what do I need, as far as like paint or what glue or what. And it's pretty cool because they have a vision already. They see the 101 scale cars of what they're fans of, and when they see a kit, they get excited, especially with the box art. But then again, it's like now, it's new people coming into the fold. But I feel like if you stick to it and you become, like a sponge to learn, you're definitely gonna, you're gonna catch up quick and like learn all this stuff like right off the bat. So it's crazy. What's it been your experience right now with like TikTok, like posting videos and content on there?
I don't, it's a whole nother world on there. Like, right, we're in a comfort zone with our Instagram community where it's always awesome. It's always positive for the most part. Like there's never really anything bad in there either. Not that there is in TikTok either, but I'm still learning TikTok. I'm navigating it. It's a lot different. And the community is a lot more broad, I feel like, on TikTok, and you get a lot of outside people looking in too and just commenting, asking, how did you do this? Where did this come from? Where do you get these parts? And you get a lot of people, oh, I haven't done this in so many years. How do I get back into it? So there's a lot of fresh eyes, a lot of people looking, a lot of people asking questions. And it's just cool having those interactions and being able to talk to people too on there. Sure, it's a video platform, but there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of other modelers that go live and just talk and work through there. And it's just another avenue to create content and connect with other modelers.
Yeah, I have seen some that I follow that jump on the live, especially uh, Gundam or aircraft model builders.
Yeah.
Where they'll just be live, and I'll just be tuning in for a little bit to see. And I mean, I haven't done it yet, but that's kind of like the next. I feel like that's something I want to do, like that plunge of setting up my camera, whenever I'm in my bench by myself, at whatever time that it is, and then just hit that live button and go from there. Not too long ago, you were live with Chester on
Yeah, that was
Instagram.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, tell
And
me about that experience with Chester. You guys deciding to like, go on there. I even jumped on the chat for a bit to see you guys, and that was entertaining right there.
so Chester and I talk a pretty good bit. Like we talk, we want to meet up at shows. We have a lot of really good interactions and we just click really well together. And so he wanted to go live, and it's something I've been wanting to do. I want to I want to put this face in the camera a little bit more and just get more comfortable with it. And going live on Instagram is just another way to really connect with everybody in the community, whether you're just coming in to listen to some music and chill or just hang out and kind of vibe with us and ask some questions. Chester and I had so many questions from different people in the community about what I was doing, whether it was, just basic scribing, or what tools we had, or what paints, what PSIs. I mean, anything, and people just in there hanging out and chilling. Willie was in there with us for a long time of it too. We know you popped in, and a lot of people did too. It's just another cool way to really connect with everybody and just kind of show what we're doing. Moving forward in the future, that's definitely something I want to do more. Chester and I definitely want to go live and do some stuff together. Brandon Commando and I have talked. We're going to do some live stuff again. And I just want to kind of mix and interact with a couple other builders in the community. Kit builder Chris and I have some special plans coming up too, where we're going to try to connect and go live a couple of times together. And so anybody in the community that's building, wants to go live, wants to just set up, and we'll do some split screens and just hang out.
Damn, that's tight, man. No, yeah, that's gonna be cool because even though, like, let's say you guys are live, you don't know what's going on the other end. Like, you're either gonna be building or you're just chilling. You might be somewhere, you might be bored, and then you go, oh damn, these guys are live. Let me jump in. Let me check out. Let me see what they're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
And
And then I
just
did a solo live after Chester and I were done, and I was just working on masking on the S13 and just kind of hanging out and exploring live and getting used to my camera setup, playing with music and audio, working on microphone, just content creation, and just interacting and hanging out with everybody that is in the community that, just wants to hang out.
Man, that's cool. I jumped in on the chat right now, and shout outs to Jake. He wrote down a scale, and then he wrote right question mark. So can you tell us about down a scale right now? You're rocking the shirt.
I am. I got to rock the shirt. I got to represent. So Down to Scale is a model car club, but it's more of a brotherhood and another really close community of just awesome people. I'm fortunate enough to have a really awesome group of people here in Texas close to me that I get to interact with, hang out at the shows, and just be a part of. It all worked out really good. It was just really awesome. There's a guy named Gary that I met here locally in Shreveport that goes to a lot of shows. Not too long after that, I met Ruben, Saul, Daniel, and all the other guys in Texas, and I just really clicked with those guys. We had modelers have a pretty like mind, and to have a community like that, interacting with those guys and then connecting with the rest of Down to Scale throughout the US has just been awesome. Even like with Willie and some of these other guys, I mean, I'm building lifelong relationships with these guys in the club and other modelers from other places too, but these guys in the club that just support you all the time, want to talk to you, are pushing you, and just seeing what you're doing and what you're up to. I mean, it's basically a second family outside of this.
Man, that's pretty dope, man. So new member and everything. That's awesome.
Yep, I'm definitely one of the newest members.
That's just recent, right? When you joined?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
Oh man, congrats. That's dope. Yeah, because I remember, like how you started, like back then when we did the episode, you're just building like solo,
Yep.
So that's awesome. And from that time to now, like last year, were you attended some shows? Weren't you out in Texas?
Yeah, so where I'm at here, there is a local show about 20 minutes away from my house. It's an IPS show or IPMS show, and it's fairly large. It doesn't have a whole lot of automotive, but it gets a lot of traffic from what we call the Arklatex and other areas. So a lot of people come into here for it. And that's where that's where I really had my first show, where I started getting to meet a lot of builders, see a lot of stuff, see how people were doing presentations, and just the general show vibe for some of that stuff. And then Liz and I started traveling out into Texas, into Arkansas, other places. I mean, we went to a show in Arkansas just basically to meet up with Wes and hang out with him for the day, and that's what this is about. Yeah, we love awards. We like that stuff too, but I like the people. I like the environment. I like just hanging out and talking with models with people, or just looking at builds. And, Wes and I'll sit there and look at this. Whoa, what is this? What is this? And it's just really cool seeing that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I got to hang out with Wes over this last weekend at the NNL. I wasn't even sure, dude, I didn't even know he was gonna be out here for NNL. I know he was working on a build for Stam for Splash, but for
Yeah.
some reason I thought he was gonna mail that over to him
I know
for the
those
show.
teaser pictures in his case, and I was like, no, 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 no. We need to see more of those. And he was like, nope, can't till after the show. And now,
Yeah,
now they're everywhere. Now I can't even open up Instagram without seeing the Harlequin.
yeah, as soon as I started seeing like, oh wait a minute, he has it like, getting ready for flight and all that. I knew, oh wait, he is coming, like for sure. And then, we went to the pizza party. I got there with my homie Randall. We got there pretty early, like right when things were starting off. And I mean, Wes was already there. And he rolled up with his friend Al Camacho. So I was like, oh, dope. I got to see them. And then, I got to see his Nissan Z, that new Nissan Z that he
Yeah.
just finished, the new
That
one
green
from
with the
yeah,
special carbon fiber.
yeah, man. And I was like, man, dude, like that his 58 Impala, this like purple one that he brings out, so super clean, dude. And I mean, just hanging out, and chopping it up with them. And then the same like at the NNL, and then at the end of the show, we still like people, everyone was gone already, and I had already wrapped up. We were pretty much in the back while the vendors were just like the last vendors were loading up their trucks, ready to leave, and we were still just hanging out, like just chopping it up,
Oh
and
yeah.
and that was pretty cool, and I just trip out like that he's everywhere. Like, he travels to a lot of places and he attends a lot of shows. So that's
Yep.
kind of cool that he's been able to hang out with you, and then he's over here on the West Coast, chilling out over here with
Yep.
us as well. So that's pretty neat. As far as these shows, are you driving like pretty far to attend these shows?
No, so most everything that, Liz is my co-pilot is what I call her. She's always going to ride with me if she can. She's always going to go wherever. And so pretty much what we try to do if we're going to make it a day trip or something is anywhere within about 4 to 4.5 hours. So we can hit shows in South Louisiana, we can hit shows in Arkansas, and we can hit the majority of the shows in Texas. IPMS Nationals is going to be a little further drive, but since it's in Texas, that's going to be a must for us. But like the shows in the Plastic Society puts on and the shows in Dallas, that's about a 3 hour drive for us. So that's easy to just do a day trip, go there, hang out. And the Texas shows are where I've got to meet a lot of builders and just interact with a lot of people that I see on Instagram.
Man, yeah, that's not too far, like a 3-4 hour drive is pretty cool.
Yep.
Like doing that, that's not far at all. It's those ones that are like, 6 to 10 hours or something crazy like that. That I'd be
Yeah,
like,
like the
man,
the
that's
one in
far.
November, like there's people that I really want to meet. There's stuff I want to do, and so we're with what we already have going on. I'm kind of exploring the show in Georgia, which is the NNL. I don't remember what that one is, but it's like November 9th or something.
Hmm.
And it's the NNL Showdown or whatever it is. I don't remember the name, but
Hmm.
I think Splash is going to be there. Sam from Splash is going to be there. Scott Scale Builds will be there. Maybe my buddy Paul and some of the guys in South Carolina, that area over there. So like those are people I interact with like on a daily basis that I would love to just be able to shake their hand, meet, talk to, hang out in person. And so that's probably one of the closest shows where that group of people is going to be at. And so that's an option that we're kind of exploring and looking at too.
Yeah, dang. Any plans on someone's bringing up a question, Ryan, in the chat, GSS in May. I believe that's like probably is it the same weekend as the show that Dedicated is hosting?
Yep. So that's there. I guess that's kind of why we're hosting it too, because of the GSL. I think Art had some commitments to GSL, and so he didn't want to lose the SoCal Open, so he went to Dedicated and asked them to host the show.
Right on, right on. Yeah, yeah. As far as like even myself, I won't be able to go to GSL. I mean, that's like I would love to, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, I'm out here and it's like I'm gonna most likely be there at the Dedicated show. that you guys are hosting. But on top of that, it's like, for me, it's like a heavy work week, even that weekend and the following days, but yeah, another question in the chat that it has been asked is regarding like what kind of airbrush or spray can, what paint do you use? If you could
So I pretty
elaborate on.
much only use splash paint. Splash paints has been awesome in the community. It's made here in the US. It ships out fast. You can get it from Scale Riders. You can get it from so many places too if you don't get it directly from Splash. And everything from them just works so smooth for me, from primers to base colors to the candies I'm using to the clear coats. I don't worry about paint interactions. I don't have to worry about something not being right. I don't have to worry about something peeling or flaking or, turning some funky color. It is what it is, and you know what you're getting, and it all works very smooth together. For airbrush, I use an Iwata Eclipse. I started with an Iwata Neo, a little cheaper version until it wouldn't work anymore. I don't know if I lost an O-ring or whatever. I couldn't figure it out. I moved up to the Iwata Eclipse, and I would never go back. I think it's like a 0.35 needle, and it does everything for me that I've done, from spraying candies to fade lines to normal base colors and solid colors. It's just an all-around workhorse. I think later on I want to explore some smaller needles and some other stuff that I want to do, but for now, this thing is just a beast. It just works really good for me.
Oh, that's dope. I'm gonna bring up one more question from the chat, and then I'll bring up some more later. But this one's coming. I know he's on Instagram and on YouTube. He goes by NYS Modeling. I believe he's located on New York and the East Coast. And his question he wants to know is, what is the one build that you are most proud of so far?
So most proud of so far would probably be, oh man, this is tough. Honestly, for me, my most proud of build so far is probably the S15, the drift car that I did. I had a lot of ups and downs with that car, but I really loved it. I love the drift scene. I love that style. I love JDM. That's no surprise if you look at my Instagram. And so the S15 was probably my most proud car. I did a lot of work and a lot of modification getting the 3D printed transmission in, the custom 3D printed wheels, the engine, and having that supercharged, really beefy drift look. And that was the first one I'd really done a lot of masking on too, and just a lot of learning involved in that. So I can still see my mistakes, but just seeing that in comparison to some of my older builds, just really, that's probably the one I'm most proud of. My Lamborghini was also really up there. I feel like the Lamborghini was just so photogenic, took some really awesome pictures. And that's why people like Dylan and some of these other guys, Dylan being New York Modeling, that I talked to on a pretty good basis too, I was able to send them those 8x10s of the Lamborghini. It was just a really clean, really smooth build, and it had a really awesome outcome. So it's just really good to look at.
Man, that's dope. I was gonna ask you if you had them with you, if you could bust those out to show everybody that's tuned in live right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey Dylan, by the way. So this is the Aoshima Nissan S15 Vertex that I did. This has a 3D printed supercharged LS in it, some custom printed 3D wheels, deeper dish in the back, a little less in the front. We did a full roll cage in this one. We did seat belts. We did some custom seats. It pretty much got what I would like to call like just the full works package on it. There's some PE kits in there for everything inside the dash, the door handles, the brake rotors, everything. And so part of the reason I'm really proud of this one is I had an issue with the decal. So if you look at the paint colors, this is a basic red, but it's a Neptune blue and the other blue is a Red Bull blue. This was originally going to be a Red Bull themed livery. The custom decals that I had did not work out for me. It wasn't what I wanted. And so I was really down with the model for a little while, and I just didn't want to work on it. I didn't want to look at it. Several people just kept saying, "Oh man, the paint already looks awesome. You just got to come up with something." So I pieced together some livery for it from some other kits, some Vertex kits, really tied it in with the paint, and just overall was really happy with the end result of it.
Man, that looks sweet. Yeah, it's crazy how that happens sometimes. You have to improvise, as much as you don't want to look at it and you're just kind of like, oh, let me step away from it. But that's good that everyone like around you motivated you to push forward with it to finally getting it to the end result. Because that happens a lot too with like even with people doing graphics, the lowrider cars, they have a set pattern of like this is the way we're gonna go with it, and then next thing you know, there's a color that overlaps or some kind of mistake, but then that turns into something else. And at the end, you go, wow, I even like it more the way it looks now. Do you have the Lamborghini?
Oh yeah. So I just pulled the Lamborghini out too. So the Lamborghini had a lot of heat. This was a really fun build. I was one of the first ones in the US to get this. The Lamborghini I built was a pre-production kit. I got it through the ambassador program with Aoshima. So it was really awesome getting my hands on it. Quick history with this Lamborghini too. I also was able to take it to a couple shows pinned up on a board with all the parts displayed. It just happened to kind of be back-to-back weekends. So everybody at the shows got to see like firsthand the box, all the parts in the box. It was really cool. And then I started getting down and working on it and just had a lot of fun with it. So it's an OEM color from Splash for Lamborghini, a gold that we just did. Even on the wheels, we did a combination of a matte black and a gloss black. I did have some decal issues, but I think that was my own fault. But it was just a really clean, well done build. We put a bunch of carbon fiber on it, and just overall, it was really fun. These Liberty Walk kits from Aoshima just go together so smooth, and just a fun build.
Yeah, that one there, the Aventador, I'm gonna be getting that in finally next week. So I have like I had this order with my distributor with a lot of the newest like Aoshima kits, and these were supposed to drop. I would say some of them like around summertime, and then later like in the third quarter of the year. But with delays and pushbacks, that one that you had gone, the one you had up like at the show on the board and all that.
Yeah.
All that's like that kit and all these other ones are finally showing up. I mean, they're already here, but next week I'll be receiving them in, and I'm excited just to get those in and have them available.
Oh
But
yeah.
I still remember when you were showing me how you had everything in the trees and how you did this presentation for the show and even photos of the show where people could view this, and it looked very professionally done. It's almost like if Aoshima had came down and like they had set up shop right there. So
Yeah.
good job on that, man.
Oh, thank you. And then on that Lamborghini too, you already know like this is the newest one that they've come out with that I'm really excited to play with this one too. It's a beautiful kit inside there. It's going to be a sweet build for sure.
No, yeah, man. Just seeing that, I mean, to me, I'm like, damn, that's gonna. I probably won't get that till the end of the year or something. I don't know why there's all these delays. Like, I mean, I'm trying to get it direct from them. I've been telling them, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe later we'll see. Maybe they don't want to get their distributor mad, and
Yeah.
be like, oh dang. But it's all good. I mean, it's cool to see that you have it, and there's some other people I know that got it. But eventually, once it makes it stateside, you start seeing it more throughout the shows all over the US and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and it was a
So
surprise to us. We didn't even know they were coming. Just all of a
yeah,
sudden we were messaging each other like, "Hey, did you get a box from Aoshima? Did you get this?" And like it was just really cool. All of us kind of, getting those as a nice surprise.
that's pretty cool. And so as far as the ambassador program, it's pretty much it's already done, right? Like as of now, because I mean I don't know, I don't see much anymore from anybody like posting about it, you know. I mean I feel like it took off like in a good run, you know. I feel like especially like having you like definitely part of the team, you
Yeah.
know, something great in there as you know. And there's some other model builders that I admire that I was like, damn, like, you know, they're killing it with their builds. Like, I love seeing the progress and stuff and it being done and everything. um but where's it like kind of now with that?
So March is going to be our that basically the end of the 1 year program, the end of the 1 year pilot. Um, and we don't really know what direction they're gonna go. We just know it's not gonna be the same ambassador program that we have now. I really feel like they're still going to be really involved with the community. They hope maybe they do one-offs to people, maybe they do, builds with other people. And it'll be interesting to really follow and see what they do with the ambassador program altogether or how they change it. I really want them to continue it. I want to see them involved with the community like they were with us. The support for us and the ambassadors from Aoshima was phenomenal. And just being able to interact with them, talk to them, and it made the bond with us with the ambassadors a lot better too, where we were just close, talking, hanging out. Where like me, Chris, and Kiwi did a build off together, and just a fun build off. And so it's been really cool seeing that. And even the other ambassadors that are still building, that are still active. It's still happening. They sent our last package to us. It should have shipped out a few days ago. We got to pick our kit and our other kit that we wanted. So stay tuned for that. We'll have some unboxing. We have some cool plans coming up. And I don't know. We'll just see what happens after March and where they take it to. Even if they do some more stuff like what they sent Casey slowly, right? They sent him a Lamborghini to build, and it was cool to watch his progress and see his take on it too. So hopefully they really stay active in the community, and I wish some other companies would do the same thing too with the community.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot by them doing the ambassador thing was something really cool and very different because a lot of manufacturers, a lot of brands, you don't really see this, especially with social media. Diving deep into the community to connect and build a team with builders from different regions, different parts of the world. And just to kind of come together and present these builds from there. And but who knows, man? Like, I mean,
I
they
mean, and it
might.
happens with other companies too. You just don't call it an
Mhm.
ambassadorship. A lot of
Yeah,
a lot of big content
true.
creators get early release stuff, right? I don't think that's the same as an ambassadorship, right? You're getting early release product because you've reached a level of viewers and a level of content creation that attracts people to see this early release product.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure more and more stuff will come down the pipeline, even from different companies, because even some companies might see this as a model, because even myself, like I look at certain things and I go, oh man, like that's pretty dope, you know, and then you get to see how it works out, for companies and whatnot. And sometimes it makes you even want to plan your own thing, and be like, oh, like I'm gonna have my own thing. I'm not gonna call it that, but I'm gonna call it this, I'll create a new word or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know, just like something, because it's almost like, like throughout the years, I still follow like skateboarding, and I always like how the skateboarding brands, whether if it was shoes, the wheels, the bearings, and the boards, even the grip tape, they all had a team. Like
Yeah.
each component to the skateboard had their own like team, and it was just kind of cool to see that team assembled and then seeing them bust out the tricks and everything with their products, but they were part of like that team. And even that aspect, like I've been kind of keeping my eye like, all right, cool, like what are some things that maybe in the future, this year or next year that I can work together to kind of get that model from that and apply it, with my business,
Yeah,
you
for
know.
sure.
Just to make it like fun and stuff. Because like there's only so many models, that I can build at a time to showcase or whatever, I wouldn't mind. I had this idea, like, even if like let's say if I knew that I was gonna hit so many shows right in a year, it'd be kind of cool to get um artists to create these models and then for me to bring them with me on the road and have like a sign with their with the names, like who built it. Now people get to see like a showcase of all these builds that were being done from different artists from the US or even overseas.
Oh yeah,
um
that would be really cool.
because a lot of the times, like, we're only able to see maybe one build or someone that's in our area right there, but to
Yep.
have access to see like multiple builds in a year, you know, from someone that you either connect with online or someone you've been following for a minute, you might not even know, but you've been following his work, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, there's just so much ideas out there, but aside from all that, though, I mean, the most important thing is that we at least have the opportunity to be in front of our desks, to work on our builds, to be on that bench
Oh
and
yeah.
and work on stuff. That's always the fun part. Um, so let me ask you this: like, for this year, have you kind of thought out as far as like, what builds or how many builds you want to push yourself, or what is it that you want to learn to push yourself this year for
So
2023?
I'm really enjoying the the masking process and just the design and intricacy with some of the candy paints. And I feel like I have I don't feel like, I know I have so much room to grow and to do some creation with that. That's what I want to look at, whether it's a little stripe of something or some intricate detail, whether it's on a JDM car, an OBS truck, or some import VIP. It's just something I want to continue to play with and to continue to push myself. I just really enjoy that process, and I'm surprised because I hate masking underbodies, but just being able to go into the thought process and the look at, like, what am I doing, where am I going, what's the next level, how do I accomplish this? And I don't know, that's just something I really enjoyed. So playing with candies and some brighter colors and doing stuff in the future is definitely something that there's going to be a lot more of. That Hilux truck really opened my eyes to just some cool ideas, and like, oh dang, I can do this. It may not be perfect yet, it may never be, but it's still fun, and I really enjoy that process.
See, what do you do when you reach that point, when you're doing a build and you see imperfections in your model? Like, what do you do to push right through it, for it not to hold you back, for it not to be a wall?
Oh, so let's talk about this S13. If you saw any of like the how-to maskings that I put up, I had so many people asking, how did I do this? How did I do that? And so even when I was doing it on the truck, when I did the S13, I decided I was going to do a lot better documenting how I did it. Whether it's the right way or not, I don't know, but it's how several people guided me the right direction, and then I applied what I'd learned from them to the building and the overall process and idea. Well, during that process, I still made a pretty big mistake on my end. I was using a piece of masking tape strictly as a guideline. It was only supposed to be a guideline tape that should have come off before I painted the body. Well, I masked over it, never even thought about the guideline, and ended up with, you know, a pretty nice size silver stripe that I did not want on the body. And you can kind of see that in those guides where I had messed up. So working on that, it took me it took me a little bit to get over that. I reached out to several people in the community, showed them what I had done. I was worried about having to be able to back mask or be able to correct it. And just a lot of positive support and people saying, you can do this, you can do this, you can do that. Because I honestly didn't know what I was going to do or how I was going to correct it. And so it's still not perfect, but it came out better. It's not what I wanted it to be, but I still got a really nice result in the end, correcting a big mistake that I thought was going to be a big setback for me.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times when we start, like we open up a model and we have this idea, we know the colors, we know what we want to put in it and all this stuff, right? In our minds, we already have our mindset as like perfection. Like I want this model to be perfect. Like I want this, then every time we do a new one, we want it to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes what happens is like these problems are gonna happen, dude. We're gonna make a mistake. We're gonna glue something that's gonna be a little crooked, or maybe I didn't bondo it right. You know, there's gonna be all these things, but I guess what it is we need to kind of accept these like little mistakes, these little things, and just keep pushing forward. Because a
Yeah.
lot of the times, there's people that I've met where they work on the model, they make the mistake, and then now they want to like start all over. You know, they want to strip the paint. They just, they just want to get it back to bare plastic and start all over. And all that time that went into it, now it's lost. And now it like that spark is kind of going away.
Yeah.
So,
You lose
you know,
interest in
it,
that build real quick when you get into that mindset. I mean, you know, you have stickers that say it. It's said in the community a lot, and I've heard it on the podcast from other people where that quote of "it's just plastic." I mean, that resonates with me so much when I'm looking at this or talking to somebody or I'm looking at an issue. I'm just looking at it like it's just plastic, and so many people out there are like, just you got to keep building, you got to keep pushing, don't let this get you down, you're still going to have a good result at the end. And sometimes you get so tunnel visioned, it's hard to see the end result because you're so hyper focused on like what you feel is a big mistake that you made.
yeah. And a lot of times too, those mistakes, only we know them because we see them. But when
Yeah.
you show your model, some people don't even notice them. They don't even see them or anything unless you point them out. But even then, if they see them, it's not like a big deal, you know? It's like,
Yep.
all right, cool. Like it's nothing crazy. Like, oh, dude, like, you know what? You should probably put that model away, take it like out of the table, take it back to the bench, and go back and work on it. Like it's nothing like that. I always feel like things are always super chill, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess just pushing through, you know, like you said, it's just plastic. It is at the end of the day, like don't let it frustrate you or change your demeanor or mood for the rest of the day or the following day,
Yeah,
you
you got to
know.
build happy. I know I heard that in another podcast. Like you don't want to sit down at the bench and just be in a bad mood. Just find a
Yeah,
time when you're building and build happy.
yeah. I like those moments too where I have like some free time and let's say I don't even build anything, but me just sitting there, like, cleaning my tools or making sure I put them back in the place they need to be, cleaning up the table, or even just pulling out the kids and opening the boxes and like sorting through all the pieces and all the parts. Even for that, I find it fun. Like, all right, this is cool. Everything is here. I put it away and that's it. There was a time where I would pressure myself, like, oh dang, I got 2 hours, 3 hours. I better like do something. I gotta do something. And then the time would come and I wouldn't do anything. And then I'd be disappointed in myself, like, dang, I should have took advantage of those 3 hours or two and I didn't do it. But
Yeah.
now I don't look at it like that anymore. It's just if I do something, cool. If not, it's all good, But I don't know what it is, man. It's kind of a trip. We spend so many hours on that table, on that
We
bench.
we do. And for me now, you know, it's growing away from just the table. Model building got me into photography, videography, editing photos, editing clips, and just general content. Like, and I enjoy kind of all the aspects of it. I want to do some better coverage at a lot of the shows that I'm going to be going to. I'm really enjoying making little clips and reels and just some content. And whether I'm sitting at the bench working on a model or I'm working on some footage for a model, it's just something that I really enjoy. And how the hobby has just helped me grow into different aspects.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, because I still remember like in the beginning when you're doing like a lot of your early on videos and photography, and now how it's evolved. Now you're even with that, you're pushing yourself. You're
Yeah.
bringing in like a whole new caliber of a vision to your videos and presentation with your models.
Yeah.
I have a question this is from David. He's in the chat all the way from Spain. He's watching live. He wanted to know,
What's
where do
up,
you
Dave?
get your inspiration from? Question mark, and then another one-on-one scale cars. That's what he wants to know.
My inspiration. I
Yeah,
missed
where do
your
you get
question.
it from?
So my inspiration as far as building, I was in a truck club for a long time, traveled all over the US, just going to different car shows, truck shows. Even before that, I was going to places in Dallas all over for car shows, stuff like Hot Import Nights, big car and truck shows, Texas Heat Wave, Showdown, all these big, like bagged, full custom. And it didn't matter to me whether it was an import, whether it was American. I just liked the customization. I liked the variety, and I liked the uniqueness of being able to build on your own. So in model car building, there's no rules, right? We can do whatever we want. We can build it however we want. You can build it out of the box. You can do it full customization. So a lot of my inspiration comes from the JDM style cars that I love. I love drift racing. I love watching that stuff. I love kind of the scene involved with it. But at the same time, here in the future, I'm going to be doing some I want to get into some trucks, do some bagged stuff. And so most of that inspiration is coming from what I've enjoyed going to and what I've enjoyed seeing.
Man, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna, if anybody that's listening or watching this right now, if you have any questions, just throw them in there in the chat. Yeah, it's been cool. We have people interacting in there, so that's pretty dope. Just talking. I don't know. Can you see it on your end, dude?
Yeah, I try to poke over there. I see
Oh, dope,
Ruben up
dope.
there. I see Brody. I see Jake. We already talked to Dylan a little bit. I see Model Car Mods.
Nice, nice.
I don't know if that's 124 Japo or
Yeah, that's David.
okay, okay.
Nice. Yeah, even Luis, shout out to LXC Scale Cars. He's all the way in Northern California. He was out there with us at the NNL West. Shout outs to him too.
Oh, I see Casey popped in too for a second.
Oh, dope. Right on, right on. Dang. Yeah, David out in Spain, 124 Eternals crew.
Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty cool. Do you have any well, I mean, not do you have any, I know you have a lot of models, but do you want to do a showcase of models right now?
Yeah, I got a couple. We looked at the S15, we looked at the Lamborghini, we touched on the lifted truck. This was my first Aoshima Hilux truck that I did. This is the one that I did some of that candy paint on all the way up through the dash, all the way over, back onto the tailgate. This was a bunch of different candies from Splash Paints, some lowrider model car parts wheels that we used on there, and a pretty good bit of 3D printed stuff to do the hydraulics, the battery setup, and just kind of get the overall feel for my first lowrider and really a fun build and a dive into it. It was one of my favorite builds of last year. Let me see if I can get in there. We even got a down to scale plaque in the back glass back there. Just a really cool dive into it. I learned a lot going through this process. Really fun build. It was something that I definitely enjoyed. We'll look at the S13 here in a minute. And one of my other favorite builds from last year was when I was able to get the re-release of the Honda Prelude. This was an awesome build. It had a lot of work into it, and it was my first real dive into doing mill putt and doing some body work. removing all of the mud flaps that are molded on there, working with some carbon fiber and doing the hood, seat belts, livery on it. Just a really fun build altogether. It was something that I really enjoyed, and that's kind of that inspiration from like Hot Import Nights and old car shows. If we look at kind of the most current build, this is the Aoshima Nissan S13 Vertex. This is one that I've kind of tied in together what I learned on the S15 and that Hilux lowrider truck. So what we're looking at here is a really low stanced car with some 3D printed wheels that match it too. And we've tied in a little lowrider theme with the Sherpa or Mexican blanket pattern from some candy paints. If you see the purple on the outside ring there, that was not planned. That purple wasn't intention. That was where I had a silver ring that was masking. And that's where I had to just kind of come in, correct it, and figure out a game plan to move on. So this is about where it's going to sit at. I may bring the back up just a little bit to match the front a little bit more, but this is the work in progress. This is one I'm having a lot of fun with, and one that just was really cool, being able to play with these candies, do the masking, and I just want to incorporate that more into builds. It's a little unique, it's fun, it's different, it just really stands out. It's a fun process.
Man, that's dope. Are those I see a yellow build back there. What build's that?
So this was one of my first ones to really get into customization. This was I love Subarus, especially Bug Eyes. I'm a big Subi fan. So this was a Tamiya Subaru STI, one of the Bug Eye versions. And this was my second car to airbrush. I went for a bag stance on it. So if you look at it, we're definitely really low to the ground. We're pretty much laid out on that. Some 3D printed wheels on it also. And it's just a yellow paint from Splash. We got a little color matching interior. And this was the first build I ever did that had customization. This was what got me a lot of attention when a lot of people were like, whoa, what are you doing? Look at this. And it was just really fun. I really enjoyed this one a lot. It has a pretty good bit of paint flaw. You can't see it, but this was while I was learning to airbrush, learning the technique, and just overall working on what I was doing and how things were going.
Man, that's cool. I've never seen that build before, dude. Thanks for sharing that. Going back in time.
You have to go way back in the Instagram to see that. And if you go back and if you go that far back, there's a Honda Civic hatch that I did too. That was like my first one to put tanks and compressors in. I built a back deck in it. And it's a cool. And if you look at that video in comparison to the videos that I'm doing now, it's just on like a mirror turntable doing just a slow 360. So you can see some progression in that. This was the truck that also got a lot of attention. This is a custom livery for what was top secret. This was the concept of what would be a top secret shop truck, basically. So I robbed a bunch of parts off of an R34 top secret. I robbed the livery off of it also. We dropped in a full subframe from the R34. Also, we did some interior from the R34. This was the first vehicle I've had pictured in a magazine. So that was a really cool accomplishment for me, just to be able to see it there on the page as a fine scale modeler. I was just something I was really proud of, really fun. It was a lot of fun. We've got the Tamiya R32. This was done in a pearl red. This was the wide body from Hobby Designs also here with some more 3D printed wheels. This was a really fun build. I don't know why I can't keep this in focus. but this was a really fun build too that I ended up updating as I was learning how to do some stance and how to lower. When I initially built the kit, I didn't do anything to it, and I ended up having a really bad stance, really bad wheel set. And so now the way it sits after I did, it's the first vehicle I've ever done any updating or kind of rebuilding on. It just sits really clean. It's nice and low. It has a good stance to it. And just overall, a really pretty car. It was a fun build. I really enjoy doing train skits. I'm gonna have a lot of fun getting back into doing some train skits here in the future and working on some customization. A kit I was really excited about was a kind of a rare kit. This is the Dragon, the BMW two-door. And of course, this will be like the first kit I get back into doing a train skit with the C1 Panem kit. It'll be fun. It'll be
Man,
fun.
that's all cool stuff right there. A question
Definitely
that
in the
I have.
plans is going to be that Cadillac. So Wes and I were talking one day. I had made a comment that I didn't have any Cadillac kits. And about a week later, I had a package from him that was that Cadillac lowrider. So I definitely plan on getting that in the lineup this year. And now that I've been working with Candies, doing some masking, it's going to be fun to just kind of see what I can do with that one too.
Nice, nice. That's pretty dope, man. One of the questions that I had for you, Snacks, was regarding like stance, like how you said, like that R32, you had to go, you revisited, you got the right stance and all that. What was it that like helped you? Did you see someone else, or did someone show you how to get like the correct stance for like someone out there that wants to learn how to, get their, like a tip or anything like that for that?
So there's some pretty good content out there, but a lot of it's trial and error, right? There's so many different parts of suspension, or there's so many different spindles or control arms or 3D printed parts. There's no best or right way to do it. When I first started looking at some modification, John's Mini Garage on Instagram, I think I'm saying that right, just John himself, he does some really cool content on how he lowers and some of the basic ideas and concepts. And you can apply that to a lot of different builds to be able to get the stance right. Especially like the 3D printed wheels and tires that I use for the most part always have a cambered tire already. So you have to have that stance right, or you're just going to have an awkward looking tire.
Nice.
One thing that's really cool that makes it really easy to do with Aoshima is a lot of their kits have a real spring in them, and that spring gives suspension travel. So without that spring, you're able to really lower that car down. You may have to add a little piece in the bottom, or what I did on the S13 was where the top spindle mount is. If you're looking at the car like this, you want a negative camber. So basically all you're doing is drilling out that top spindle mount so you can have the negative camber. And without that real metal spring in there, you're able to just move those control arms basically up and down, or that spindle up and down, to get the stance that you want. It just makes it really easy to modify some of these Aoshimas.
Nice, interesting. Yeah, I have to check out. I do follow June on Instagram. He does have a lot of cool video content.
He does, and he's
On
on YouTube too with a lot of those how-tos and how he does things.
Awesome, awesome. And as everyone that's tuned in right now that's watching this, wanted to give you guys an announcement. This is if you want to mark your calendars, this is SoCal Open. It's gonna be a model car show taking place on Sunday, May 7th, 2023. This will be out here in Southern California, taking place at the Rancho San Antonio Boys Home, 2100 Plummer Street, Chatsworth, California. And this show is a special one. It's being presented by Dedicated Magazine. Can you tell us, I mean, we're not going to go into, no further into the details of the awards or anything like that, but, you Snacks being part of the Dedicated Magazine team, as far as what can you tell us about this event?
So I hope the event's going to be really awesome. It sounds like from the past years, they've had a really good turnout. it's connected with a 1-to-1 or a full-size car show. All the proceeds go to a really awesome that boys home. We have some really cool ideas coming up for trophies that have never been done before. The theme is going to be something I love. And we just really hope to have an awesome turnout. The team at Dedicated was really excited about it when they got offered to host it and be a part of it. So being able to be newer in the hobby, having the opportunity to work with Dedicated and do some photography and just kind of help out wherever they need something has been really awesome coming my way also. So Liz and I are now planning to be able to fly out to California, meet some of these guys that I talk to all the time, hang out, and be part of this show. We're going to put Liz to work too. We're going to be there doing photography. We're going to be there helping and putting on the show, doing basically all the aspects of it from start to finish. As they're still lining up sponsors, vendors, all of that stuff is still in the works. So stay tuned for that. But it's awesome to have that opportunity to help another builder, help another person in the community keep the show alive, keep it going, and be a part of it.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. Yeah, because the previous shows were originally hosted. This is Art Lasky. I know he has his info. You know, for anybody who wants to get any more info on this, you could visit laskyscale.com /SoCal Open, and he also has an online store, proshop.com, and yeah, it's like I vended at the show previous years. It's probably been maybe like two consecutive years, like back to back, like vending there. But I've attended this show many times in the past as well. For the place where it's at, I mean, it's pretty centralized, like meaning for like Southern California, it's still pretty big. You got the model builders that live in Ventura County, also in the Valley, right? And then you have this show that's centered in the Valley. And then on the other side, you have builders that are based out in LA, and then further down to like towards more like San Bernardino, San Diego. So it's basically like the show's in the middle and everything's spread out, and then everyone it's like a meet area pretty much, where it's not going to be too far. It could be like 1 hour or 2 hours away for some people, or it's going to be 30 minutes or 10 minutes, right? But it's a really good centralized area. I feel like the month that it's perfect. It's in summer. A lot of people, you know, on vacation, people want to go out, people want to go do stuff. You know, the 101 scale cars that are displayed out, you know, it attracts a lot of people. And at the same time, people will come into where they have the model cars and they stumble in and they see all these cool cars too, miniature size, you know, and it's nice because I feel like a lot of modelers mark their calendars and they're like, all right, cool, I'm gonna make sure that I'm here at this event, you know,
Yeah.
because it's almost like in California, our first one we have is the NNL West. That's like the initial show. That's a big one that sets things off. And then our mid one, the way I look at it, I look at this one as like a second tier, like a big one too for California. And then towards the end of the year, I mean, there's other shows that pop in, but they're a lot smaller, like shows. And then once you hit November, that's it. There's no more. There's one last show, and then that's it. There's no more shows. You know, so this should be a cool one, man. I think you and Liz are gonna have a great time out here in California,
Oh
and
yeah, I think so.
especially at this one here, the SoCal Open, and you're gonna get to see a lot of people that you interact with and you talk to on Instagram. I bet you're gonna be like, "What? Dang, Snax is here. What's
That's the
up?
plan. I
Dang."
mean, you know, I never really would have thought like, hey, I'm gonna fly to California to go meet people that I talk to on Instagram and you know, help host a model car show in California. 2 years ago, that's not something I was ever thinking about doing. So really, really awesome, really excited. It's gonna be cool to see another show, another aspect of a show, a whole nother side of builders and building and just hanging out with people. I'll probably be pretty busy behind the camera still, but it's going to be fun. I hope to meet a lot of people there that I talk to on Instagram for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. Yeah, you'd be surprised, bro. Like, this hobby, like model car building, it could take you places. And I mean, it already is. It's gonna bring you out here. You've been out here to California though before, right? Or would this be the
I've
first
never
time?
really been to California other than for an airport or for
Okay, okay.
some training that I was doing. If there was like a place in California where I had to go to for some training.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, those don't count. Not playing.
No.
But yeah, nah, but I know what you mean though, man. This will be the first official one. Being out here.
So we're going
The
to try to be out there for about a week or so. The
Yeah.
show's on a Sunday too, so
Mhm.
hopefully we get to play around, meet some people. There's some places I want to go, stuff we want to do, and just have a good time while we're there.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I wanted to shout out Chris from the UK. He's on.
What
He's on
up,
the
Chris?
he jumped on the chat. He's on
I saw his
here.
name pop up earlier.
Okay, okay. Right on, cool. Yeah, Jake had mentioned the show in Pomona, the NHRA Museum. Yeah, that's in November. That's a good one too. I was there last November at that one, so I'll most likely be back there again later. I plan to later this year. So we'll see how that goes right there. But man, excited. I have the flyer right in front of me right here. Let me zoom in on here, see if people hopefully can see it better. SoCal Open. So as of right now, like Willie, I saw Willie at NNL West. He was over there,
Yeah.
and Willie was passing out flyers, and I talked to Willie, and I told him, dude, you give me a stack of flyers, this way I could pass them out on my orders. So a lot of like, I started today, orders that shipped out today.
Yeah, I saw the
I
clip of
was,
that.
yeah, I was like putting a flyer in there, and I'm just gonna keep doing it until I run out. Um, Originally I was thinking, well, should I just put it in orders from California and that's it? But then I'm like, no, like I gotta send this out to all the model builders, everyone,
Gotta go everywhere. You gotta send it to
everywhere. It,
everybody.
it it don't matter because you never know, man. Like someone can receive this right now and they could be living in Texas or in the East Coast, but
Yeah.
it might motivate them to be like, you know what? I'm gonna look into how much would it cost for me to like fly out there and check
Yeah.
out the show. You never know. You never know. And you might have someone coming out from far to check this out. This might be the one that one opportunity, where they
Yeah.
actually come out and come to a show and visit and see what it's all about out here. But yeah, I'm gonna keep putting these in until they're out. And if I need more, I'm gonna, hey Willie, if you're watching or listening, I'm gonna need another stack of these for
I'm gonna tell you
sure.
right now, he's long asleep.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he gets up super early because he works, man. He
Yeah.
works some crazy hours. I asked him when he was at NNL, like, yo, like, what time did you get here? What's up? And he's like, man, that he had to leave like at 2 in the morning to drive up to get there. And I'm like, dang, dude, I can't do that. Like, I don't know. If I had to, I would, but I'm like, nah. I had to leave. We left early in the morning, like on Friday, the day before. So
Okay.
yeah, we were just hanging out. I didn't get back home till Sunday. Like after the show, I still like stayed out there. And then the following day, I was just like, all right, cool. Cause yeah, I you get tired, man, just like like bending, like tired, like standing up, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like your adrenaline, that's what's keeping you up and everything as like, you're helping people out and just like checking things out. And once it's all like done and you're out of there, you're kicking it, and then all of a sudden, like after you eat, it hits you, and you're like, damn,
Yeah.
I'm like super tired right
But it
there.
looked like it was awesome. It looked like it was a good turnout. There was a lot of people from the community. Like
Mhm.
Instagram still flooded with it, and it looked like it was just an awesome show, a really cool place to be at.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was fun. Shout outs to Alex too. I wanted to shout out Alex, El Handi's out up north, based out of Oakland. He hosted the slice of the West, which pretty much it's like a pre-party get together before the NNL West, that takes place at like a round table pizza. And 3 years ago he hosted one there, and a lot of people came out to that. This one, 3 years after the pandemic and everything, he did it again, and people did come out. It wasn't like, you know, we can't compare it to that first one, but a lot of people did come out. They brought their builds and stuff like that. But it was just kind of cool to like be there and see him and see everybody. And it's definitely an opportunity where you just get to just kind of just chill, man. Everybody is just talking about the cars, the models, you know, and eating pizza. You know, everyone's like rubbing and chilling. And at
Yeah.
the same time, it's just it's like a teaser as to the following day, the NNO West, right? Because there's going to be tons of cars there. And before, I remember going to NNO West, it's just like you show up and you go to NNO West, and it feels like it goes through within seconds. Those hours turn into seconds, and then the show's done. And after that, you're going home. And you're just like flipping through your camera phone and going like, dude, what just happened? Like, oh damn, look at all these cars, right? But having that extra day of being there, like a pizza night, is pretty dope. And then the actual event, you know, it just makes it well worth it more, especially for those that come from far away.
Yeah.
I mean, you have two things kind of going on.
That was
Like,
kind of our plan coming in for SoCal Open too. We were just going to kind of make a little vacation out of it, hang out with some people, and just relax and enjoy the time there, and then do the show. I mean, we'll be prepping for the show on Saturday, and then obviously the show on Sunday. But you know, we're going to be there for a few days before and a few days after, and just being able to hang out, visit with some people, and you know, kind of that same scenario, just a little more low key.
dang, man, that's gonna be awesome, dude. Let me see here. I'm gonna check if anybody has any more questions. Please ask us here. What we have.
Oh yeah,
Snack.
definitely bring the questions if you got them.
I know, right? Man, are you gonna be bringing in like a lot of builds for that show for the
I
SoCal
have
show?
not figured this out yet. I don't know the best way to fly with them, to send them. I kind of
Mm,
want to bring one or two, but I don't know that. I can tell you right now I'm going to be sending some stuff home, because if I hit up like Pegasus, or if we go some places, right? Like Willie's going to have a stack of stuff that he's going to have to send me back home, especially if
yeah,
like I pick up a bunch of vendor stuff too at the show. Um, you know, so shipping back home is going to be a must, but I don't know, because with my camera equipment that I'm doing now, um, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to carry on or what I'm going to be able to send. I haven't got that far yet. I need to talk to some people. If you're watching and you've flown or you've sent some models and you have any tips or tricks on that, send them my way. Otherwise, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do that.
yeah. I know for sure. Like Wes, I mean, he's one of the dudes that knows for the carry on. You know, like he was showing me his setup with his builds and
Yeah.
that case that he carries all his cars. I was like, damn, he's set. You
Yeah.
know, and,
But so
I know
like
him.
now I have a backpack for the camera gear, stuff like that, the gimbal that I'm going to be carrying, batteries, everything that I'm going to need, because I'm going to be set up taking pictures um at the show for dedicated, doing show coverage, and I want to be able to have some content and some video footage too. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to carry on or where I'm going to store some cars at either yet.
Yeah. Hey, I forgot to ask. You were doing a giveaway not too long ago with one of your like it was like a display, right? One of
It
your
was. It was an acrylic LED sign from
yeah,
a friend of mine that's been a good friend since we were little kids.
that's awesome. Who ended up winning that?
So actually built by Iceman Collections, or Joel Iceman won that one. And then after he won, kind of talking to him back and forth, he said we could re-give away the kit, the trans kit, and the window masks. And then Scott Scale Builds ended up winning that,
Oh,
the
dope.
kit bundle.
Sick. Shout outs to Scott. Do you have
Yeah.
yours with you? Your sign?
I can go grab it.
I want to see it if you can. If you can,
Yeah.
I want to check that out right there. Yeah, it's a really cool LED sign that his friend made. Man, that's crazy. Maybe I should get a Scale Riders one done up too. I really like that. I don't know if you guys that are viewing this right now, you can see in the background in Snax room, he has his logo up. It looks like on a wood display. It looks pretty neat right there. I really like that. So how's everybody doing right now? I hope you guys are enjoying this. It's about what 11:18 out here PM. Oh, let's see. Let's tune into Snax right now. So you can show us this thing.
So this runs on batteries. I think my batteries died because I've been playing with it so much, or it runs on a USB cord. You can pretty much get any logo, any design, anything you want on it. Liz got one too for her crafting station already. I didn't have my USB cable ready.
Oh, that's dope. Let's see.
Get out of the frame here. It's got a remote. You can change it to any colors, anything you want. Do all your programs, all your features, just like any typical kind of LED thing nowadays. Just full clear. Not too big. It's just going to kind of sit like this. So really, really cool. And doing the giveaway, just a way to support a friend here in town.
Yeah, plug his information, his Instagram or his website, where people, if people are viewing this, want to get one of those.
Yep. So it's Rue Forged. It's the same guys that made
I was
this
just
one
talking
here. It's
about that.
ROUX Forged.
Dang, that's a cool. They did that sign too.
They did this one too. So this is 3 layers done on wood. Just something really cool to put in the hobby room.
Man, that's dope. I like seeing all that kind of stuff, man. It's really neat. So that thing you said it runs on batteries or cable.
Yeah, it runs on batteries or a USB cable, so you can hook it up however you want.
Mm.
So sneak peek, little tidbit of information. If you come to SoCal Open and you happen to win an award, you are going to take home one of these also as your award.
Nice. Will it be the Snax one version?
No. So it's going to be
that one.
it's going to be like your dedicated choice or whoever your sponsors are, however the awards get played out. But we've pretty much locked in everything we're going to do. We're trying to get logos, graphics, everything like that. And we're going to start having some trophies like this. It's going to be really cool, something unique, something that I don't think's really been done or people have seen yet.
Yeah, man. I mean, as we get closer to the date, I would definitely like to get an episode with you, David, and Willie together. I know there'll be so much more information as we get closer.
Oh yeah, there'll be a lot coming
to May. So that's gonna be a fun right there. But man, those things look cool, man. I really like those.
Oh yeah, they're definitely fun. It's just a nice little touch. It's
Dang.
small. You can put it just about wherever you want.
Yeah, you could even like turn that thing on and put it as you're driving at night, put it in your car.
Like a lift light.
There you go, man. You're gonna get people flagging you down like, yo, dude.
Hey, that's that. Instead of putting your Instagram sticker on that glass, just put one of these in that window.
Yeah, dang. Let's see. It's a trip, man. Like everyone who's tuned in right now, it's like we got Casey all the way from Australia.
Hey, good morning, Chris. What's up, Casey?
Damn, he's tuned in, man. That's pretty cool, man.
Hey, Juan.
Juan Amezcua, he's gonna be coming on soon too, on here. And then we have Model Car 1589 all the way from SF, San Francisco. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, thanks for joining.
Yeah, as well. Man, these guys are talking about like how late it is or how early it is for them. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Man, that's a trip. So that kid that you brought out earlier, it was a BMW one. So you're saying that that's like a rare one?
It was. I guess it's just not produced or it's old. It's hard to find the 2-door E36s like this anywhere, whether it's from Revell, whether it's from anywhere. So you pay a pretty penny to find one if you can find one.
Man, your stash is starting to grow now, dude.
It is. I had to bring a little bit in here for the vibe and the ambiance. Um, this year we talked about that Cadillac Lowrider. This was another show. This was another truck I picked up at a show that I hope to tie in this year too. It's definitely something on my mind. And as I'm planning builds, it's not like I can just go to the store and pick something up. I don't really have a hobby shop, so I got to order it from you, or I got to order it from wherever I can get it. So as I'm getting stuff, I kind of plan, what I'm going to do. So when I'm looking at a build like this, we've got a kit, we've got an engine that we want to use, and then we start tying in everything together. So I have it all lined up, right? You got to have the PE kit. And then we've even got the OBS decals. I don't know if you can see that in there. I guess
Oh,
it'll
there
help
we
by
go.
turning
Yeah,
around
flip
the
it like
right
that.
way,
Yeah.
right? Like, so as I'm doing stuff like that, I start bundling together what I'm going to do, and hopefully get on. This will be my first full-size truck that I get to do, and something more American, and something that I've loved, and that had been, one of those inspirational things that I've done.
Man, so I really like how I admire how you bundle everything up. Like you're looking for like, you're gathering everything, all your material, all the things that you need. Do you ever like get started on something and maybe you gathered up a couple things, but as you already started on something, later you implement more things that you come across, or is it like
Oh
just too
yeah,
late?
and as I'm growing and just ordering stuff, like I think about stuff that I could use in the future or could be needed. I mean, if you look at my order history on Detail Masters and Proline and some of these other parts from you, I've got a plethora of options now because I don't know what I'm going to need anymore, and I don't want to always just have to wait around and order something. But I still get into a situation where I'm doing something and, oh, I need this, or I should have done this, or I could have had this if I was able to. But it kind of goes back into that thing with 3D printing completely changing the game. I'm just not at a position in this house where I want to be able to 3D print. So everything that I need, I either order from somebody, or I get somebody to print and just send it to me.
Yeah, that's like the one of the cool things you could do right now, like if you're not printing. But I could see you. I don't know, man. I have a feeling you're gonna get into it later this year. Watch.
I don't
I
know.
think summer or
I don't know
later.
how I'm gonna deal with the fumes in the house. I haven't got that
Yeah.
far yet.
Yeah, I know. It's even like myself. That's the one thing that's held me back from not doing it because I can't do it here. And then I don't know, anywhere else it's kind of far away. And I know it's going to be one of those things where you have to be kind of monitoring or checking out every so often just to see how
Yeah.
the process is going. And man, I don't know. We'll see. Unless if I move, if I move and we get like a spot where I have my own kind of little space to do that, then that'd be pretty sick
Yeah.
to uh, to do that. But the luxury of like getting it printed by somebody else is pretty cool. And even a lot of that stuff's like offered by Iceman collections. And tell us about that collab with Iceman and Splash that you guys got going on right now.
So I had originally posted kind of just a quick video of how I did the wheels on this, because this was 3D printed. They're resin. Whoa, we don't have any focus. But those are resin wheels on there, and Splash had their brand new rubber black that had come out, and Iceman had kind of liked the clip that I did, and just approached me and asked me to do a little quick how-to on painting resin and tires to get them to look more like a realistic rubber. He sells a lot of wheels, a lot of tires, a lot of 3D prints from different designers. And so he said he gets a lot of questions on how to paint the tires, how to do this. And so he just asked me to put a little quick how-to video. I think it's going to drop probably Saturday. And it was a really cool collab between Iceman and Splash. I mean, when you get two really awesome products or people that come together that are, it just works really good.
Mhm. Yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, that rubber black is really dope. And it's definitely something you need to have. Like I think like in your arsenal of paint. If
Oh yeah.
if you're already carrying metallizers and all the other different types of colors that Splash offers, the rubber black is definitely a must that you also gotta
Even
have.
even for me, like looking at different things, you wouldn't be able to see it on here, but you have a black rubber or black resin tire that people can print out. It does not look anywhere near as good as this new painted rubber black. So in the future, anything that comes as like a black tire resin, I'm still going to reprimer that and I'm going to shoot it with Splash's rubber black. Like it just looks so much better. Even when the light hits it, it looks like a real tire.
Yeah, man, that's cool. Yeah, man, there's just so many options now. There's so many directions you can go with a model nowadays with all these different parts.
Yeah.
It's this is a time to be creative. This is the time to experiment and explore and just do, all these different various things. Even some things that maybe we see as like, man, this has not been done yet. Maybe it has, but we just don't see it. And until you bust out with it, obviously someone's gonna pull out, oh, check it, so and so did something too, which is fine. But it's always kind of cool to kind of just try to push that envelope or be in that forefront of always trying something new and pushing it.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about this, like rubber black is like, to me, the more I've been using it, it's a staple, no different than a semi-gloss black, right? Like think about all your options from rubber hoses to belts to even rubber trim on a car. Like this is something that you need to have in your arsenal if you're airbrushing. Like 3D printing's not going away. You're gonna have some resin in some form or shape, and whether it's wheels or you're building an engine, like this is just a really good paint.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. I still remember like some years back when there was really no talk about 3D printing at all. You wouldn't really see it. And then when those conversations started to appear, it was only like maybe a couple people that were doing it at the time. And then now it's just like you're getting hit from everywhere. Everyone's doing it. It's pretty nuts, man.
Look at what Casey said. I mean, I can't
Let's
even
see.
with him right now.
Yeah, let me jump on the chat right now.
Casey said, put the printers in your car with an extension cord overnight.
There you go. Yeah. Oh man. Just like open the trunk, put it in there, then just close it.
No, no.
Uh It'll probably smell super crazy in there.
Oh
Like
yeah.
right after that. Man. Is there any shout outs before we wrap up this episode?
Man, it's really hard to do shout outs. I was thinking about it coming into it. I knew shout outs were coming, but I
Yeah.
definitely want to just give a shout out to everybody in Down to Scale, everybody that has helped me along the way, whether it's just positive feedback, whether it's been input. There's still a couple of people that I talk to all the time. They know who they are, and those guys are that close-knit family that I have. But everybody in this community, everybody that follows me, that interacts, thank you for that. Thank you for your support. Thank you for just pushing. And so my shout out just goes to the community in general for just being awesome, keeping this a positive place, and especially for people that are newer getting into it.
Right on, man. No, thank you. Hey, thank you for being on the podcast. And I also want to shout out everybody who's in the chat room that was in, saying hi, checking in. I know for some people they had to step out because they got to go to work. It's
Yeah.
like it's just kind of cool knowing that there's some people even from overseas that are tuning into this. So this is episode number 201. 65 Looks checking out. And, we'll definitely keep you guys updated with Bill's work, scaled by Snax on Instagram. So, if you're not following him, make sure you check out his work. But we'll have his links and stuff like that on the description in the show notes. So thank you, Bill. I know it's pretty late for you out there. I
Yeah, man, I
appreciate
gotta get to
you taking
bed.
the time. And we'll keep in touch, man. Have a good night.
Oh yeah, definitely. You too. Thank you everybody for joining in, whether it was night for y'all or morning. I appreciate y'all being here and just hanging out in chat or being here with us. Edgar, I really appreciate you having me back on. This was awesome. Look forward to coming together with the guys from Dedicated and doing it again closer to the show.
Awesome, man. Definitely. And then in the future, we're gonna see each other. I look forward to seeing you in May as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I really look forward to meeting you.
All right, man. You have a good